guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you about all the books that I read in the month of July, the best, the worst, and everything in between. So let's get into it. I'm going to do my best to not give spoilers, so we'll see how that goes, but I am just going to issue a very light cautionary warning that there could potentially be spoilers, but I'm going to do my best to not spoil anything. So yeah, the first book that I read in July was The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I did not really like this book. I honestly found this book to be extremely overhyped, but also just like kind of stupid in my opinion. I found the plot to be boring and stupid. I thought the characters were also stupid and boring, except I did like Daisy and Jordan, and I was hoping for Jordan and Nick to, like level up the relationship throughout the book, but that didn't really happen. And I just feel like this book would have been better if like it focused more on Gatsby's like mysterious wealth and empire that he had throughout the book, instead of like him pining over Daisy for majority of it. But then also I found the ending to be very stupid at the same time as well. So yeah, I kind of found this book to be stupid. I did do some reading. I don't know if it was on Reddit or if it was Goodreads or something, but apparently this isn't really one of the better works of F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I do have The Beautiful and Damned on my shelf that I am going to be reading, so hopefully that will be better than this one, fingers crossed, but we'll have to wait and see for that. Now, this book I tried to read. It is 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I started this book. I got to probably chapter 2 or 3, and mind you, the chapters are freaking huge, okay? They are massive chapters. Like, just look at the size of this book. This is like similar sizing to the Crescent City books, if we're being honest here. I was very excited to read this book. It has such a cool plot line. Like, it's about this dude that ends up going to this diner that he always goes to, and the owner of the diner is like, hey, I want to show you something, and lo and behold, it's a portal back into the freaking 1950s or 1960s or something, and they start talking about it and the diner owner's adventures through this portal and stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, like I almost got close to like stopping JFK from being assassinated. And I was like, because I love history. I absolutely love history, and like seeing as this book is literally like a play on like what would happen if JFK wasn't assassinated, or if like something happened to where the assassination did not take place at all, like that just fascinated me so much. And Kaylee on Book Talk definitely like inspired me to pick this book up. But it is big. The chapters are big, like I said, and I just got very intimidated as I was reading it, to the point where I didn't want to read it because I was just scared, and I felt like I was gonna miss out on all the other books that I have on my shelf, even though like I would have the time to read the other books on my shelf. So I ended up DNFing this book, not because I didn't like it, not because I thought anything was stupid or dumb or just like not the best thing at all. I do want to try to read this book again, do not get me wrong. I don't know when that will be, but I do know that I need to mentally prepare myself for this. So maybe what I'll do is like try and find some smaller Stephen King books before I jump back into this one, but I do want to give this book another try. The next book that I read, I also DNF'd. It is The Daisy Chain Flower Shop by Laurie Gilmore. I got probably close to 50% in, and I was just like, what the hell is going on? I was excited for this book because it's a whole fake dating romance. Daisy, the owner of the Daisy Chain Flower Shop, basically has this bad reputation in town because the mayor had a dream being like, I see dark clouds over your flower shop, and then the whole town was kind of like, oh no, that's not good, we're not doing business with her anymore. And so Daisy just has a bad reputation as a business owner because everyone thinks that her business is cursed. And then Elliot, I think is his name, walks in, and fake relationship happens essentially, and he is trying to use this fake relationship to get his mom and his brother off of his back because he got divorced like 2 years before this book takes place, and he was still sulking over it, which kind of fair, but also like 2 years, dude. And yeah, the fake dating just kind of felt like this whole umbrella excuse as a reason for them, like the main characters of this book, to hold on to their trauma and not jump into a relationship. But then also, like, you can tell they're very clearly attracted to each other and very clearly want to jump each other's bones, but then they keep being like, oh wait, remember, this is fake, so like this isn't real, we can't do that. And it just kind of got boring after a while because like literally all the way up till the 50% mark, that was what was happening. They were attracted to each other, they were, you know, stepping on eggshells, kind of trying to see how close to the line they could get, and then, oh wait, this is fake. It was annoying, to be quite honest. I did not like this book, and I DNF'd it. And I'm kind of scared of that because I really want to read the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. So I'm hoping that will be better than this one, but I'll have to see if I can get the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore on Kindle because I don't want to buy it if I end up not liking it again. Now this is where I kind of step out of chronological order of the books that I read in July, because I am currently reading a series, but I want to do like a whole addressing of those books after I talk about all the other books that I read. The next book that I read was A House at the Bottom of a Lake by Josh Malerman, and this one is about two teenagers that go on their very first date together, and they decide to go kayaking. Now the main lake has a second lake off of it, and they decide to go into the second lake. But then they see a tunnel in the second lake that goes somewhere that they've never been before, and they decide to go through the tunnel, okay? And they come out into this lake that is murky and overgrown, and all of a sudden they see something sticking out of the water, and they go closer to it, and they realize it is a freaking house. Of course, a house at the bottom of a lake, but it is a house. A fully developed house that is not rotted away. There is literal furniture inside the house that is also not rotted away, and the furniture is like in the place that it would normally be in a house when you decorate a house. This furniture is not floating around at all. Okay, very cool, right? There's a presence in this house where these two kids are kind of like, what is going on here, but like also I'm fascinated, so like let's stay and check it out more. But it's very stupid. I finished this book, I did not DNF it, I gave it 2 stars because, like I said, very cool premise for a book. A house at the bottom of a lake that is fully still together, furniture is not degrading away, if that's even the right word to use. It's not rotting away, neither is the house. Like, everything is still there where it is, literally glued in place with the most strongest super glue that you could find in the whole wide world that is waterproof. Like, what? But then, this is supposed to be marketed as horror, and I read a review on Goodreads after I finished it where this reader thought that this book was marketed wrongly. Instead of being marketed as horror, they saw it as YA magical realism, and I personally thought that this would be better as science fiction because this house is defying all the laws of things in water, of physics, calculations of things in water, if physics could be applied to stuff that goes into water. And yeah, I don't know, I kept reading thinking that this was going to kind of go in a way that I thought it was going to go, kind of just like a paranormal type situation happening in this house, and like, sure, that was kind of what happened, but also it just was not what happened at all, and it was very strange to read about, to be quite honest. Another thing that I didn't really like about this book is that there was no explanation as to why this house is at the bottom of this lake, and there is a reason why there's no explanation, and I won't tell you why there's no explanation, but I think having some type of explanation for this house being in this lake would have been cool. Like, if it's kind of like,
oh yeah, this house was built in like the 1800s, and you know, ever since then, because it's in like a valley situation of geographical location, rain just kept pouring and pouring and pouring down and filling up in this valley, and bam, the house got flooded and people moved out, and then the lake just took it over. But hey, you know, there's something weird about it because it's not rotted away.
like, that would have been more interesting than these kids finding this house, essentially claiming it as their own, and then becoming very unhealthily obsessed with it. At least the female character was very unhealthily obsessed with it. I was creeped out by this at some points, but majority of the time I was just sitting there being like, what am I reading right now? But not in a good way. Not in a good way. The last book that I read that was not in a series was Just Friends by Haley Pham, and I freaking loved this book, okay? This book follows Blair as she goes back to her hometown because her great aunt is passing away, and she's helping her mom figure out like the logistics, well, kind of helping her mom figure out the logistics of her aunt passing away and stuff. And lo and behold, she runs into Declan, her childhood best friend, aka ex-boyfriend. And they haven't talked for 4 years. And, you know, they see where things go, basically. I just found that the characters were believable, especially with their thoughts and their feelings. Grief is a very heavy topic within this book, and I felt that the writing around the grief was very well done. A lot of like the descriptive words that were kind of used to like explain the feelings of grief, I thought were really beautiful. And I just kind of felt like the characters themselves were emotionally mature, and I feel like, and this is coming from someone that doesn't read romance that much, so take this with a grain of salt, please, but especially with a lot of romance books that have been pushed out because of book talk, I really feel like the characters in this book are so much more emotionally mature than the characters that we see in other books. I just find the chemistry in this book is there tenfold. It is believable. The maturity between the characters and the maturity of the characters themselves is there tenfold and is just unlike anything that I have personally read. And I found that to be extremely refreshing as well. And I have a bone to pick with people online. Everyone and their mom is hating on this book, and majority of the reason, like big reason that I've seen why people are hating on this is because of a few of the word choices that were used in this book. And it's just kind of like, so what? Like, I understand writing can make or break a book and all of that, but outside of like weird word choices, this book is good. The writing is good, okay? I just feel like Haley Pham has a way of using her words to describe things in detail, but not overstuffing her sentences, but also not understuffing her sentences. It's well balanced in the way where you can understand what is trying to be conveyed, and you're not lost in the sauce, but you're also not wondering, like, trying to read in between the lines to see if there's something more that should be there. I am very excited to see more books from Haley Pham in the future, fingers crossed. And yeah, 10 out of 10, 5 stars. I recommend this book. Do not listen to the people on the internet. Form your own opinion. That's all I have to say. And that's what I have to say about a lot of books. All books and TV shows and songs. Do not listen to people on the internet unless you have some type of thought, opinion, feeling, whatever, after you've finished reading, watching, or listening. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Internet can skew a lot of things, and that it should not be skewing the joy of books, even if the writing is bad. But I also feel like writing being bad is subjective to a lot of people. I don't know, man. And then on to the series that I have been reading throughout July. It has been the Harry Potter series. I grew up kind of with the movies. I fully remember watching The Chamber of Secrets when I was a kid, and my aunt and uncle love the movies. I remember watching them with them when I was younger, although I don't remember a lot of it. And in recent years, I have tried to watch the movies, but um, I'll get to like the third or fourth one, and my attention is just kind of gone to the wind. Like, I can't sit and watch it anymore. I can't take in anything else of the world. And I decided to look for the books online secondhand, and I found them because, you know, I'm not giving my money to J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling can go, she can go sit on the other side of the world, which is what she's doing. But I am thoroughly enjoying the series right now. I'm currently about over halfway through the fourth book, and I'm just so excited that as an adult I am enjoying the series that was literally written for middle graders, because even though it was written for middle graders, it doesn't come off like that at all. It is like the best thing ever. It is so cozy. It is so wonderful. It is so academia coded, but for witches and wizards. And I absolutely love Fred and George Weasley. They're my favorite characters so far. And Hagrid. I love Hagrid. I have a special place in my heart for Hagrid. But Fred and George are so funny. They're the comedic relief needed for these books. I'm thoroughly enjoying the series, and I can't wait to read the last few books that I have left in the series, and then I am going to make myself watch all the movies after reading the books. But I'm in love. I'm in love. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna talk about the books individually because I'm going to do that when I finish the series. So stay tuned for that. But those are all the books that I have read throughout July, and I'm very excited to see what August will hold for my reader brain and heart. I do have a lot of books on my shelf that I want to read. I also need to get through my TBR. I have put myself on a book buying ban starting today. So hopefully that will stick through, and hopefully I have the willpower to not buy any more books. Fingers crossed. I might do a whole little series thing of like going through all of my physical TBR, because that needs to be tackled. There's a lot on my shelf that I have not read yet. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that regardless of the opinions that I've shared within this video, that you have found love for some of these books that I personally did not like. And yeah, don't listen to all the people on the internet that have opinions that are valid because they're their own opinions, but like, you know, just don't listen to all of them. I need to go now. I'm going to go finish reading the fourth book in the Harry Potter series, and I will see you whenever I see you next. So, bye.